for the tens in attendance and the millions watching around the world on Twitch TV pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to micro! Okay, I'm done. Hey everybody, my name is Omid. I'm here to talk to you about my love of eSports. So naturally the first thing we should do is talk about what eSports even is. Oh, by the way, that catchphrase, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble thing, it's made $400 million in revenue. Just a random tidbit I throw in there is ridiculous. I didn't even know it was trademarked. So eSports. Esports is a term for organized video game competitions, especially between professionals. Source is Wikipedia. Here we see StarCraft veteran Nada going nuts on the keyboard. So that is an example of microing. That is what microing is. He's microing his units around the map, the StarCraft map. It's kind of insane. So I'm going to start this talk by giving you a little bit of information about who I am as a person and why I'm here talking to you about esports today. And we'll go from there. So to begin, and hopefully people here can see. Sorry, I'll try to like move around. So here, so let's spread the wealth. So I used to work in games. I was a games user researcher, and what that basically means is a lot of telling people this. And essentially, I work with designers and engineers to make our products better. I'm still doing that now. I guess I'll get into that a little later. More importantly, I was a pro gamer myself. So I played this silly game called In the Groove 2. It's a spin-off of DDR. Basically, people who played DDR made it because they were bored of DDR because it was too easy. That's me on the right. Judge me however you want. So basically, the first ever international tournament, I got 4th, and I followed that up with a first place finish. So my highest peak ranking ever was 4th in the world. So you're here listening to someone who was 4th in the world of a video game. Thank you. So, like I alluded to before, I'm still a researcher, but now I work at Facebook. It's awesome. I highly recommend you work there because holy shit, we're spoiled. But, you know, one thing I've loved is, ever since leaving the gaming industry, I've been able to kind of reinvigorate my passion for games. I've gotten a chance to not work on games anymore, but I've gotten a chance to lead the Magic Club at Facebook and teach a DDR class because we have a fucking DDR machine at work. So that's pretty cool. I've also, while I was working in games, I also co-hosted a Twitch stream with my buddy Eric there, who's known in the online world as Faucius. And we tried to get our company's game kind of an esport phenomenon, but kind of failed. No big deal, once without time on that. But yeah, so I'm a huge fan, which is what this slide's supposed to show, me drinking beer with all these other nerds. I love esports, I love competitive gaming, I follow a whole bunch of different games and I have throughout my whole life. So let's get into it. Esports, electronic sports. I'm gonna start by giving you a little bit of history first. So, I didn't realize how hard this was going to be to read, but, okay. First known video game competition. Can anybody tell me what game this is? Does anybody know what game this is? I'll be really impressed if you know. Space War. First ever video game. This is October 1972 at Stanford. First ever video game competition. Can anyone tell me what the winner of this first video game tournament won? Your best guess. A compliment. You're right. It was a year's worth of Rolling Stone subscription. Yeah! Okay, so second, like the biggest organized video game tournament back then. This was the, I believe it was 1980. And this is a bunch of people playing an Atari game, Space Invaders. 10,000 people gathered for this. Kind of insane. So unfortunately, because this talk has to be somewhat short, we're going to skip ahead to the invention of the internet. So thanks to the internet, you know, we got to be more social, and being social is a good thing. I mean, we're on Facebook, social's good, but you know, being social allowed for all these kind of online leagues or in real life leagues to form. Some of which are still around today. Unfortunately, those first two aren't, but you know, these are huge. And if we skip further ahead to like 2004, we can see that the GSL in Korea is actually a legitimized type of thing where people go, yeah, I see, yeah. Was that for Korea or the GSL or both?
Both.
Yeah, all right, cool. So yeah, so it's actually a recognized, so StarCraft is a game and it's a recognized sport in Korea. It's pretty insane. So further ahead, this is 14. This is a photo I took at the Dota 2 International Championships in Seattle last year. Clearly I had to give myself a little bit of credit there. And then if you remember from the title slide, that's actually from a League of Legends tournament. This is also from a League of Legends tournament, so this is also, I believe, 2013 or 2014. So you kind of see the evolution here of like, it starts with Space War, it starts with, you know, just in like a laboratory, evolves into like this 10,000 player gathering, and the internet happens, and now it's kind of a gaming phenomenon. Hopefully pretty soon it'll be a mainstream phenomenon. I threw this in here, I think this is really interesting. So this is the 2013 Twitch.tv retrospective, which they made public. How many of you are not familiar with Twitch TV, by a show of hands? Awesome, that's so cool. So I want, as homework, you all to go home today and go to twitch.tv and watch whatever you see kind of featured, the 5 streams there. Twitch TV is an awesome company that's here in the Bay Area. They're in San Francisco. They allow gamers to stream themselves playing video games. And there are people making lots of money doing so due to advertisements, running ads. So this is kind of insane. The couple things I'm going to call out here are that 68% have decreased watching TV to focus their time on game entertainment, which is a little insane. 58% of people spend more than 20 hours per week on Twitch. Let that sink in for a little bit. Crazy. So, okay, why all the hype? Why am I so excited about all this stuff? Why should anyone be excited about any of this stuff? To really kind of get this through, I chose to feature in my talk the most iconic, defining moment in esports history. And for this, we're going to go back to 2004 and watch Daigo versus Justin Wong play Street Fighter 3 with no sound.
Tech support's coming, hold on!
Okay.
Oh, anticlimactic. Oh no.
I'm going to go back. It's
Okay,
fine.
go back, go back.
Rare footage of Daigo actually angry. Just its throw style. Overcome problem. Now the bird putting Daigo down. Nothing.
That's right, turn it down. That's right, yeah.
The excitement was too much. The speakers couldn't handle it.
All right, we're back. What the fuck just happened?
All that excitement killed the laptop. What is that? It's, we're happy people. Look, see happy.
Oh, yeah, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I thought
We're
it was
fine.
like-
No, we're good. Sorry,
Rude.
Mary. Excuse me. I'm really sick right now, by the way, so I'm here for you all because... Okay, so, this is EVO. What we just saw is the EVO semifinal from 2004. So much hype. Why is everyone so hype over what just happened with the hut and the all that stuff? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down that entire footage for you, and we're gonna watch it again, and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna go ape shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. The game, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike. Where? Semifinals, EVO 2004. EVO is the biggest fighting game convention any fighting game player will ever aspire to win, basically. The players, the best of Japan versus the best of the US. Umehara Daigo versus Justin Wong. Guess what? 11 years later, they're still the best, okay? These guys are the Kobe versus LeBron. No, fuck that. It's Jordan versus Magic, Jordan versus Bird. These guys are just the best in their game. So what Justin is doing is playing a character named Chun-Li. Chun-Li is top tier, meaning she's one of the best characters in the game. She has very safe moves. So basically, what that means in Street Fighter is you can do a move, and depending on what the other person does, like let's say they block your move, you'll still have priority to kind of take the next action. So she's very good in that sense. Ken, played by Daigo, has a pixel of life left. In the game, you can chip people out by basically attacking them, and while they're blocking, they'll still take some damage. All Wong has to do with Chun-Li is chip Ken out. But turns out that in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, there's a thing called a perfect block or a parry where you tap forward when you're about to be attacked, which is what all those white flashes are, right? So Justin uses a super art, which is a very powerful move to chip him out, because that's the most powerful thing you can do at the time. Daigo has to perfect block every single hit in that combo. To do so, you have to time it perfectly. It's kind of ridiculous. You have to start the perfect block before the other player even does it because of the way the lag in the game works. So it's kind of stupid. Daigo parries, hup, 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 right? Then after the parry, what people don't realize is, in Daigo's genius, is he has to actually kill Justin because he has a pixel of life left. So what he does is he parries the last move in the combo in midair and does a very, very high damaging combo, which is really hard to execute in midair. And everybody goes insane. And it's just like, let's just watch it again.
Daigo actually angry. Just as Earl style. Overcome Rao. Now the bird putting Daigo down. Nothing.
So he's baiting it out right here. He wants him to do the super art. And if you're curious what that last combo is, it's jumping fierce kick, crouching medium kick, medium punch, shoryuken, canceled into a super art. So it's kind of insane. It's just a lot of it. But it's like playing an instrument, basically. Thanks, Daigo. You're fucking awesome. You get my seal of approval. All right, so that was 2004. Now if we go forward to 2013, we'll see that some people have a varying opinion of esports.
Career path, yet these guys have taken journeys in their life to become pro athletes for something that's not really a traditionally accepted career path, yet these guys are doing it and they're living it, and so to get that kind of validation, confirmation that this is the real deal has been exciting for our fans.
Okay, I was astounded, Soledad. I was astounded by that story. I had zero knowledge of the fact that this exists.
You didn't know there were cyber athletes?
My hand to God, I didn't know there were some. But my issue is, it's still not a sport. It's a game. And you follow me what I'm saying here, Bert?
I do. Do you have any statistics on how many of those people also go to Star Trek conventions?
I would guess there's actually a fair amount of overlap.
Fuck you.
Physically be able to do it. They're competing. Listen, is it a sport or not? I believe it's a sport. They get sports visas to enter the country.
That's not a sport. That's not a sport. That's not a sport.
We're talking about the 20 million people who are watching the damn thing.
And the money
They
that
gotta
they're
be
making.
crazier
And
than
they're
the
paying
ones
big money to watch it.
It's $1 million mark at the end of that game.
I get it.
You know, like the first time I did this kind of talk on this topic, I had an opinion on this, but now I just skipped this whole part because look, we're on the cover of ESPN magazine. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually last month, 2015. We had Marshawn Lynch in like some kind of, I don't know, futuristic gamer. I don't even know what that is. But even called the eSports issue. So I'm going to share some really cool stats. I'm a researcher. I like numbers. So check it out. This is YouTube followers. So gaming actually is only second to music, which is what most people use YouTube for. So gaming clearly huge on YouTube. Next we have prize money. So what? Let's go back. Go back. So next we have prize money, and I'm actually going to revisit this slide and doing a case study. But check it out. We compare pretty nicely here. Esports does pretty well here. And then moving forward, viewership. Okay, so League of Legends basically beats the Masters. Dota beats the NBA Finals. No big deal. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Next. So, you know, the basis of my argument for why I guess I do have one slide about my argument. So I do posit that, you know, sports and esports are one and the same, because look at why people are doing both. They're playing a game for money. Okay, that's sweet. And they all have Ash Ketchum syndrome, which, you know, want to be the best, want to be the very best, no one ever was, blah, 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 blah. People who play Pokemon. So these three reasons are why people do both things. So I think that makes sense. So speaking about money a little bit, because I actually really like that slide about where it has the money breakdown and who doesn't love money, obviously. I want to do a quick look at my favorite game, which is Dota 2. So Dota is a game free to play made by Valve, a company called Valve in Seattle, where basically you have two teams of 5 that are kind of working to gain an advantage, and the way you win on this map, it's the same map every time, is you destroy the main base on each player's side. And they've done something totally ingenious, which is release something called the Compendium. The Compendium allows players to crowdsource the prize pool. So you get cool stuff, it's a digital item, you get to predict stuff that happens in the tournament, so even if you don't go, you get to participate. Genius idea. There's an AllStar Game, so you get to vote just like you would in the NBA or NFL or anything like that. And check it out. So Valve put up $1 million. The first year, the community raised $600,000 extra. So this is year 1, okay? What about year 2? They put up $1.6 million, and the community raised $1.2 million. Insane, right? What about 2 years ago? Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. 11 million, a cool 11 million. So basically that meant that whatever team of 5 won automatically became millionaires because the top prize was 5 mil split 5 ways, $1 million. Cool. What about last year, the one I got to go to live? $15 fucking million! Holy shit! Okay, wait, no, this is actually outdated because I made these slides like 2 weeks ago. As of Thursday, I think, when I last updated this, it's actually over $15 million. And if we go back to that ESPN stat, we can see that it's actually more than the World Series of Poker, which you actually buy into. And I mean, what? Yeah, so clearly if you want to be rich playing some kind of game, Dota is for you. And here we can see that the contributed prize pool that the community's actually put in. So this is just proof that the esports community cares about itself. It has this self-referential, like, want to be mainstream. We want to be out there, we want to be in the news, we want to shake up the sports community, basically. And I added this, this is just like, so you can see where the other games are at. Clearly Dota is far and away crushing it, but there are a lot of other games that are considered esports, and highly recommend you go on twitch.tv and check out each of these games. So I want to change gears a little bit. Again, last night at this talk, someone asked a question at the end, which is about women in esports, and I felt like I should have devoted a whole section to it in my talk. So I know I'm getting a little short on time, so no, we're good.
You can talk about shit.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so unfortunately, women are grossly underrepresented in esports, and it's kind of absurd. And yeah, so let's talk about it, because we should talk about it. So this is kind of, again, for that same ESPN issue, a breakdown of the demographics of esports fans. So as we can see, there are actually a fair number of women, 38%, and mostly within my age bracket, the 21 to 35 age bracket, which is a very Bay Area age bracket. But why are only 1 in 10 actually competing? Well, since I'm not a woman, I can't actually do the analysis, but I can kind of show you kind of what's out there. So this is a model who's a personality on Twitch. And I don't know, I think some women might see this and feel like she's doing a disservice to kind of, like female gamers might see this and see that she's doing a disservice because her donation pile over there says biggest D of the month. Okay, and here's the game, and that's her, so okay, I mean, I came here to like want to watch the game. This episode that she's doing is League Champions I Want to Bone, which, okay, like you're not, okay, like whatever. Sure, so I think the fact that there are some women who do this is totally fine, but what pains me to see is all the hate she gets. So she should be allowed to do whatever she wants, and if you don't like it, then don't watch her. I think the problem comes from the hatred that's spewed towards things like this. So if she wants to do this, that's fine. Next, I think on the commentary side, which is actually a huge part of esports, there are a lot of dudes. So here's from an Ars Technica article. This is actually their caption for this image. I did a Google search on esports commentators. Turns out, there are a lot of dudes in every esport. Forever. Dudes. Dudes. Just dudes. So, you know, I posit that like we can do a much better job, and you know, like we saw earlier, 38% of women are, 38% of the fan community are women. So why can't we do a better job representing them in the commentator sphere? I feel like the more women see women in higher, ranking positions, the more they're likely to maybe engage. I don't know. Then we have some isolated incidents that are just awful, like the IESF in Hearthstone. TLDR, there was just like an awful thing where they segregated men and women to different tournaments. Got a lot of backlash, not good. Then there are negative female examples where this League of Legends team strictly trash-talked other men teams, and as a result, no one took them seriously, so they kind of faded off. But there's also fantastic examples, like Scarlet, who's actually a trans woman, and she's arguably the most successful female competitor right now. She plays StarCraft. Excuse me. But when we look at the money, always follow the money, right? Men and women are making very disparate amounts of money, and this is obviously because we don't have enough female gamers. So, if you're into games and you're a woman, consider playing competitively because we need you. Because look at this. Top man makes 1.2 million, top woman makes 122,000. Not good. So, I just argue that we need to follow this rule more. And I'm going to end the talk on that. If you want to talk esports with me anytime, please hit me up. And thank you for coming. Hope you have a great night. If anybody has any questions, I kind of zoomed through the end, but feel free to ask. I will take your questions.
Well, you're going to be here all night, right?
Yeah. I'm sitting right here. Come see me in between talks.
What minutes do you have on me? All right, okay, cool, great. Another round of applause.
All right, thank you. No lie, I still have my Atari 2600 from 1980. Yeah. But when the consoles got got so complicated with so many damn buttons. I remember I moved towards the Laura Croft Tomb Raider. I killed that bitch in her bathtub. I couldn't get her out of her house. That's not a lie. So I just gave up. So maybe I should get back into it because clearly we need more bitches in games.